This is the Shinobi 2, while this is the Ninja 5. Welcome to the Atomos Showdown. Hey friend, Sean with Guided Productions. Now, a few months ago, I posted a video giving you my first impressions of the Shinobi 2 monitor by Atomos, and I've had some extra time to spend with this thing. Before we get into a comparison between the Ninja 5 and the Shinobi 2, I want to provide some additional context around a point that I made in the last video. You can check that out here, just to give you some more useful information as you're out there shopping for video monitors. Now, in the video, I said I wanted one battery to rule them all. I wanted to power my camera and the monitor off of my V-mount battery. And so I'm hooking everything up, and I think I said I go from the battery to the monitor, and then the monitor is then powering my camera. Barrel to D-tap connection goes straight into my V-mount battery. That powers the Shinobi, and the Shinobi is now powering my camera. That's technically true, but I want to give you some additional information here. The monitor itself is only capable of outputting about 13 watts of battery power. So it's not enough to sustain your camera indefinitely while filming, especially when you're shooting at high frame rates or 4K footage and that sort of thing. It's enough to slow the drain of your battery, but it's not enough to support it indefinitely. So you're still going to need a battery inside your camera. Now, there are other cameras, like Sony, I know, makes up several cameras where it has multiple USB-C ports. So you can still use the touch focus capability of the Shinobi 2 and then run a separate cable from an additional USB-C port to your V-mount battery. So that way you can still get the full power from your V-mount without having to worry about the draw of your camera monitor. With that out of the way, I do want to dive into a quick comparison. Now, I recognize the Ninja 5 is not a new monitor. In fact, I don't even think that you can buy the Ninja 5 anymore. I know that there are new models that have come out. So take this video for what it is, but I do think it's worth comparing what the Ninja 5 has moved to in terms of functionalities and capabilities versus the Shinobi 2, and you may be surprised to see what I think that I'll be using more long term. So recently, I became the happy beneficiary of a Ninja 5 monitor, and this thing is pretty incredible. Right out of the gate, it's quite a bit wider than the Shinobi 2. It's quite a bit heavier as well. This thing has its own fan. It's got its own cooling built in. It feels much more rugged. I don't know if it's more of a metal housing versus the plastic of the Shinobi 2. So the build quality, first and foremost, already feels higher than the Shinobi 2. I've noticed that it has fewer ports. So it's got HDMI in and out. It's got a mic line input as well as remote control. And then we do have this on the back where you can slide in, Atomos's SD card. And then you have some other accessories and capabilities in terms of, casting and monitoring to elsewhere if you have a director or something like that. There's a lot that you can do within this unit. Now, one other thing that I really like about the Ninja 5 is this screen. I don't know if it's glass. I feel like it's the same composition or plastic, if you will, of the Shinobi 2, but it's highly responsive. I feel like every menu item that I'm selecting and navigating through, it's so much quicker than the Shinobi. It's not laggy. The sensitivity of the screen is really easy to use, and I'm able to set different controls really quickly on the fly. And of course, we can't forget that this monitor, it's a 4K recording monitor. It was designed to record straight out of your camera, right from your camera sensor via HDMI. You can get full ProRes recording right into the monitor itself, which is really cool when you're limited by SD cards and you want to be able to record direct to a full SSD. Maybe you have a larger SSD drive just for faster recording, and then you can pop that into your computer. This thing is a workhorse and it's pretty incredible. Now, going back to the Shinobi 2, this thing is much thinner, it's much lighter than the Ninja 5, but we also know that this isn't a recording monitor. All this is designed to do is let you see what your lens sees on a bigger screen, which I find that there's absolutely a place for that. Now, in comparison to the Ninja 5, as I mentioned, the touch controls, they don't seem as sensitive, especially the smaller buttons. I find that I have to, when I'm changing my ISO from my camera monitor itself, I really have to get in there, and it doesn't always register my finger. When I'm navigating through the menus, it just doesn't feel as fluid and smooth or fast as the Ninja 5. And so I don't know if that has to do with the screen itself or the technology inside. Maybe they'll roll out firmware updates as we go on and this will improve. But as it stands today, the Ninja 5 by far surpasses in terms of usability, I would say, and comfort from that perspective. Now, what I do like about the Shinobi 2 is that because it's so small, I'm shooting on an R8, which if you've ever picked up a Canon R8, it's a small camera. It's already lightweight. So I'm not looking to build out some massive rig that I got to throw over my shoulder. I want to keep everything compact and small and lightweight. And so the Shinobi 2 is the perfect match for what I tend to film with. Now, if you're filming on a much larger rig and you're building up all kinds of weight anyway, it's not going to bother you so much to have an additional, I don't even know how much this weighs, but this much added to your camera. Let's talk about why I picked up the Shinobi 2 monitor to begin with. It has touch focus. This is the reason that a lot of folks will pick up this monitor, because it has a USB-C connection that will go directly to your camera, allowing you to adjust things like ISO, aperture, and shutter speed right from the monitor itself. In fact, you can even hit record, stop and start recording right on the monitor. So you don't even need to touch your camera controls. You can do that right from the monitor. Unfortunately, the Ninja doesn't allow you to do that. It's connected via HDMI, which allows you to see everything and record everything through that cable, but it's not giving you full touch capability. That being said, because you can record directly to the Ninja 5, you also can record with different color spaces, you can record with different LUTs built in, you can burn them right into your video from the Ninja 5, so you can save your time editing and post-production. There's a lot that you can do with this monitor. Now, I will say, I filmed a video the other day using the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 6K. I was filming in B-RAW, so heavy footage. I was only filming for maybe 20 minutes, and I went to go turn the monitor off. This is the Ninja 5, and about burned my finger. This thing was red hot. And I also noticed about halfway through filming, I don't know if this was a safety feature, if it was overheating, but the screen on the monitor dimmed. So I wasn't entirely sure what I was looking at. It was harder to see mid-shoot. That is a little concerning to me. Again, the Ninja 5 is an older monitor at this point. I think this one is probably about 6 or 7 years old. They've come out with new models. They've come out with new firmware updates as well. So I have to imagine a lot of the cooling and a lot of that has probably been worked out, but I did think it was worth noting that this thing was kind of getting real hot versus the Shinobi 2. I've filmed for 2 hours at a time and have not noticed any difference. Again, I'm not recording directly to the monitor. In this case, I wasn't recording to the Ninja 5 either. I was actually recording from the camera straight to a T5 SSD card that I had plugged directly into the camera itself. So I'm not entirely sure why this thing was so hot, but it was, and I think that's worth noting. Now, in terms of general specifications, the Shinobi 2 is coming in about 1500 nits of brightness, whereas the Ninja 5 is coming right in around 1000. And I do believe the newer models of the Ninja are somewhere around 1000 as well. So not quite as bright as the Shinobi 2, but still a very good high quality monitor. You're able to shoot outside and still see very clearly. When you're comparing screen size side by side, these two are both 5-inch monitors. The newer Ninja is coming in at 5.2 inches, so it is going to be a little bit larger than this. Now, I haven't held the newer Ninja to see if the housing is just as metallic as this one. It may be more lightweight. I don't know. I'm sure they've made updates over time. Now, I won't spend time going through all of the menu settings and capabilities of the Ninja 5, but I will say that this thing is extensive. There is a whole scrollable list of options from audio to video to you name it. This thing can do it all. It's a computer in your hand, unlike any that I've seen. It's not just a monitor. This is absolutely a 4K recorder by every stretch of the definition of that phrase. Friend, there is so much that you can do with the Ninja 5, and I have to believe that the same is true, if not better, for the successor to the Ninja 5 here. There's a fair amount that you can do within the Shinobi 2, but again, you're not getting the recording. You're not needing all of that. You can set your zebras, you can check your exposure, you can change things on the fly, and the touch to focus is a game changer with the Shinobi 2, which I do love over the Ninja 5. Friend, if I had to put these two side by side, they're not really comparable monitors. It's kind of comparing apples to oranges because you have here a true monitor in the sense of the word, and over here you have a 4K recorder. They're designed to do different things. And so if you're in the market for a monitor, you really got to ask yourself what you're going to be using it for. The price point on a new Atomos Ninja is somewhere in the $600 to $700 range, whereas the Shinobi 2 is coming in about $350. That's US. You really need to step back and ask, what are you going to be using this for? If you're just trying to get a larger screen to view your image and not just the viewfinder on your camera or the LCD display, then the Shinobi 2 is going to be everything that you need, and you get touch control. It's pretty awesome. It's lightweight. There's not a whole lot going on. The learning curve to figure out how to use this thing is pretty simple as well. In fact, just watch my previous video. I'll walk you through it. Whereas the Ninja 5 or any Ninja coming after this is going to require a bit more education, a bit more time playing with the settings to really understand and get the most out of it. but it also does so much. If you really need to record direct to a monitor externally from your camera, then maybe this is something that you should consider. Now, obviously, there are other brands on the market as well. I'm just comparing Atomos to Atomos here. But friend, you just got to ask yourself those questions. What will I be using it for? Think future projects, long-term, future-proof yourself. If you're going to invest in some additional accessories like a camera monitor, figure out what you're going to be using, what you're going to be shooting, and why it makes sense to have the one that you have. So for me, at the end of the day, I'm sticking with the Shinobi 2. It's perfect for what I need it for. I may use this as an additional monitor on my second camera setup, which I do think will be helpful. And the more I play around with this, I may discover some additional features that I find really useful. But for the type of filming that I'm doing, a lot of these, stationary YouTube videos, the Shinobi 2 is perfect for what I need. Now, friend, if you want to learn more about the gear required to film high quality video, not the fancy accessories, but the things that are specifically designed to help you get high quality video without breaking the bank, go to guidedproductions.com/studio gear guide, download a free copy of my film studio gear guide, and I will talk you through everything you need from cameras to lights to microphones, but I'll frame it in such a way that it's packaged and you don't need to overspend. Friend, it will grow with you. It's my free gift for saying thank you for spending this time with me. Go to guidedproductions.com/studio gear guide. Get your free film studio gear guide today. Friend, leave me a comment. I would be curious to know what monitors you're using. If you have experience with either one of these, if you're using something totally different, I want to hear about it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Have an amazing day, and I will see you on another video real soon.